Good morning, everyone! We are live and alive on today, Tuesday, the 11th of March. Alright, we have a fun one for everyone today. If you'd asked me a couple of years ago, what's the likelihood of this happening, probably would have been small. It wasn't on my bingo card. But today we're talking about the crossover event of the century. SpongeBob SquarePants is coming to Magic the Gathering. So this is one that was announced end of last year, kind of when they did the announcment that we were getting like Final Fantasy, we were getting Spider-Man, and we were getting an unknown Universes Beyond set at the end of the year that we now know is Avatar: The Last Airbender. And at the time, everyone was kind of like, oh, and SpongeBob. This is literally the end of Magic the Gathering. But we're going to talk about the actual Secret Lair today. All the cards have been spoiled. Basically, they come in 3 secret layers. So, there's 3 on sale. They're all going to be $29, which I'm assuming means they're just going to be £29. That's generally how that works. They're available on March 24th at the website if you want to buy them. Again, we'll go through the individual cards themselves. I think my main... Hello, small cat. She's had her breakfast. Come say hello. Come on. We started without you. Come back. Meow. Meow. Do you like SpongeBob, darling? Yes, no? Hey ho. But yeah, so when this was spoiled, people... I don't think we're super jazzed for it. Obviously, kind of like the SpongeBob fans weren't... We didn't hear from them when this came out. We just heard from general Magic fans that kind of like... I think as part of the announcement that kind of like half of this year's worth of Magic wasn't going to be Magic, that kind of stuff. SpongeBob is technically the part that tips it over into more Magic this year not being Universes Within, more of it being Universes Beyond. Mike, I'm fine with this. We'll go through the cards in a minute. My main problem with it is I think just it's the same as my problem with a lot of Secret Lairs. Is just the value of the cards isn't worth the cost of entry. It's not worth the price that you're paying for them. If you just wanted to get the cards, obviously if you want these artworks, then this is how you're. This is the only way to get it. But yeah, in terms of this is for me how I am fine with them. Print as many of these as you want and get as many different IPs, slap that artwork on it, make your money. For the people that want them, cool, they can go buy them. For the people who don't want them, cool, they can ignore them. From my end, after this video today, I'm probably never going to think about SpongeBob SquarePants in Magic the Gathering again. That is the best case scenario when it comes to dealing with... Or for me personally, it's the best case scenario when it comes to dealing with Universes Beyond that I don't care about. The trickier part is going to be when they're standard legal and they're like the draft sets and they're the ones that pre-release all the time. It's kind of different with Lord of the Rings. That was like a bonus set that was kind of separate from everything else. This year it's going to be unavoidable. If you want to play Magic, you're going to be playing Universes Beyond now, and that's the part I think people are more frustrated at, basically. But as I've said on the channel a bunch, with the Universes Beyond cards, I might not be a fan of Final Fantasy, I might not be a fan of Marvel anymore, I might not be a fan of Avatar: The Last Airbender, but I am a Magic fan, so I am willing to give those a chance. And from looking at the SpongeBob Secret Lair, I think we just need to give them a chance. And also, if... For me, this doesn't click, but I didn't watch SpongeBob as a kid. I kind of was a bit too old by the time SpongeBob came out. I think I've seen the movie, and I remember that being okay. The scene with David Hasselhoff that he mentions down here, that was actually quite funny. So I'm not the biggest SpongeBob fan, but if someone sat down and played these against me because they like SpongeBob, cool. I think it is great when something clicks for someone, when someone's happy for something. That is awesome. Like me, I'm happy about this cat. Meow, darling, meow. Good morning. So yeah, so it was spoiled on Collider. That's why we're on this website. We're not just randomly on Collider.com. I think it's the first time I've ever been to this website. Let's actually go through the cards. So, obviously, first up we have the... Is it titular? SpongeBob SquarePants. The way they've done all of these is that they are skins of cards that already exist. Unlike the Walking Dead Secret Lairs, which will kind of... If we actually... Does this have them on? Unlike the Walking Dead Secret Lairs, which was functionally new. Oh, Jesus. I didn't realize there's this many Secret Lairs. Where's the Walking Dead ones? So the Walking Dead ones were functionally unique. I think that's what everyone was kind of worried these were going to be. Like cards... Yeah, here you are. Like, these were cards you could only get in a Secret Lair. Same as, like, the Marvel ones from end of last year. I think that's everyone's main issue, is that having cards you can only get under any form be through a Secret Lair sucks, if I'm honest with you. I think that's really crappy, and it leads to, like, it heightens the predatory environment of scalpers buying up like 10 of them. Like, while you can buy more than one Secret Lair at any one time, why anyone needs 10 of any Secret Lair, I don't know. They should just stop that. That's stupid. But when the only way you can get versions of these cards is from a Secret Lair, which sells out immediately, it's obviously going to leave to people feeling bad, because people who actually want it aren't going to be able to get it, because scalpers come in and take them all. We all know scalpers suck. Fuck them. But doing it this way, I think is fine. Doing it so that this card is Joda. This card exists in Magic. Sorry, again, one hand. Just go to Joda. Oh, Spiler was spoiling them. Yeah, so Joda. So this card exists. It exists in Magic. If you want one, if you want the card Joda, cool, you can go buy one for $1.80. This lovely alt-art stained glass version for $1.80. Cool, we love that. Or you can buy like a foily one for £8. Marvellous, love that. Or, if you want this, specifically the SpongeBob one, this is how you're going to get it. And I'm kind of... Yeah, and this is a great way of doing it. Partly because, one, they don't have to design any new cards. So it's easy for them. Just literally slap some artwork on a card you think is relevant. And then two, in theory, it should... Like, so this is more in line with the... What do you call it? With the Monty Python Secret Lair. In that... Oh, we're getting heavy small cat. In that, yeah, it's a reskin of cards. So it's people who want the cards, but want them in this artwork. I feel that is better than doing it just like, this is the only place you can get SpongeBob is a Secret Lair. Mechanically, he only exists here. Darling, you are... Oh, you've definitely had your breakfast today. Hello, small cat. My arm's going to sleep. But yeah, anyway, let's talk about the cards. Okay. SpongeBob is a Wooburg for a 5/5 legendary creature, human wizard. Legendary creatures you control get +X, where X is the number of legendary creature cards you control. Whenever you cast a legendary spell from your hand, exile cards on top of your library until you exile a legendary non-land card with lesser mana value. You may cast that card without paying its mana cost, put the rest on your bottom of your library in a random order. So Joda has been a fun... Or SpongeBob, sorry, has been a fun commander if you're doing 5-color stuff. I do like the implication of... Basically, having one 5-color card in these Secret Lairs means that if you buy this Secret Lair, you can build the commander deck. SpongeBob can be your commander, you can put in all of his friends and enemies and be able to play them all in one deck. I think that's... If you're buying a SpongeBob SquarePants Secret Lair, there's a highly likely chance that you're going to want to play the cards in Commander. So being able to do it, buffs up all your legendaries based on other legendaries, that's all good. The mana base on this is going to be a little bit tricky. The rest of them tend to actually be all in kind of like blue, so you might not need to be a full Wooburg deck. You just need cards that make Wooburg mana to cast SpongeBob here. My arm is really going to sleep. I hurt it a couple of... Oh, I'm sorry. Goodbye, darling. Come back soon. Ow. Oh, my arm hurts. Apologies. But yeah, I haven't actually built a Joda deck, but It does seem cool. It seems quite like a nice, simple way of just kind of like doing a bunch of cool broken things. Cram it. It also kind of builds itself. Just get the mana base as good as possible. Cram it full of legendaries. Cram it with every card in the Secret Lair, and you should be good to go. That is at least a nice way of doing it. Let's keep going. All right, next we have Patrick Star. It is a reskin of Barktooth Warbeard. We actually built this as a short when I was trying out shorts and stuff. It's this card, which is kind of wild. It is 4 black, red for a 6/5 legendary creature, human warrior. With the flavor text, I don't get it. I've not seen enough SpongeBob to fully get this, but the impression I get is that either you're not meant to understand it, or yeah, just the idea that he's a big, dumb vanilla creature, I think is quite funny. You can kind of get the flavor through that. In terms of power level of this card, it's obviously not great. And how we built it on the channel was we built it as beard matters, which unfortunately you can't do with this version, but it goes in the SpongeBob Joda deck at least, so that's a plus. I think this is funny. Why not? Crack on with it. All right. Next up we have Squidward, Sarcastic Snob. 1 blue, 3/2 legendary creature horror. It is a reskin of Grazilax Ithalid Scholar. Whenever a creature you control becomes blocked, you may return it to its owner's hand. Whenever one or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, draw a card with the flavor text, I hate you all. The Grazilax is a cool card. I've mainly played it in like my ninja deck. I mean, everyone's had a Yuriko deck or has played against a Yuriko deck at some point. Grazilax is great there, and in any other ninja adjacent or combat matters style of decks. Just thinking about this purely from a SpongeBob deck point of view, the double blue is quite hard to cast in a 5-color deck, so you are probably going to be blue heavy just in order to make sure that you can get Squidward out and attacking on turn 3. But yeah, fun card. I mean, it makes sense. Like if you look at Grazilax, it kind of makes sense. It is squid adjacent. Like, I like the fact that they haven't just gone for like a squid or a leviathan. They've gone a bit deeper. They've gone a bit more with the villain aspect of this card. I think that's cool. This card is sweet, by the way. I should play it in more decks. I don't play ninjas as much anymore because everyone knows, like, the cat was out of the bag pretty quickly how strong Yuriko was. Actually, is Yuriko itself, is it a game changer or something like that? It is on the game changers commander list. So just having it as your commander means it's probably going to be like a 3 or something like that. Okay. Fair. Yuriko is messed up. Come on, Ninjutsu is not fair. Although, Gavin, I'm assuming you're watching, Gavin. Give me Commander Cycling. Oh yeah, there's room there. Hit me up. Don't worry. All right, let's keep it going. Next up, we have Gary the Snail. 5 black for a 7/7. It is a reskin of Toxrill the Corrosive, which is a very messed up magic card. It has, at the beginning of each end step, put a slime counter on each creature you control. Creatures you don't control get -1/-1 for each slime counter on them. Whenever a creature you don't control with a slime counter on it dies, create a 1/1 black slug creature token. And it has Dimir, so it is a Dimir card. Sacrifice a slug, draw a card. I don't know the flavor of this. I'm assuming... Is Gary really messed up in... in SpongeBob SquarePants? He's a pet. He can usually only say meow. Or sea worms. And it's like, what? He's the pet snail. Okay, fair enough. I'm kind of just wondering. Yeah, flavor. If you're going to print a snail, Toxrill is the best one. I'm trying to work out from a flavor point of view, is Gary the Snail really messed up? But because Toxrill the Corrosive is a really messed up magic card. It is a kill on sight card most of the time, just because like that ability really takes over a game. Yeah, the fact that its end step means you're guaranteed to kill some things. Like there will be 1/1s on the board when this comes out. Toxel's a messed up card. Also, worth mentioning, this is the most expensive actual card in the whole Secret Lair. So Toxrill is currently around $17, $18. This is by far the most expensive card in this whole Secret Lair. Everything else is kind of $5 or below. And I'm sure if you shopped around, you could get cheaper. Like a lot of them are just like $1, and that's going to be my main critique of the Secret Lair. Is just, I think some of their choices and options are cool, but you could give them a bit more bang for your buck. So also all these legendary creatures are in one Secret Lair, including Sandy Cheeks Martial Astronaut, which is a reskin of Toski Bearer of Secrets. It is 3 and a green for a 1/1 legendary creature squirrel. The spell can't be countered. It has indestructible. It attacks each combat if able, and whenever a creature you control does combat damage to a player, draw a card. So this is probably the best. Is it the best squirrel or the second best squirrel? Chatterfang, also great magic card. I'm assuming flavor-wise this works a bit better, just from a combat-y point of view. Chatterfang is a bit more kind of like carrying other squirrels. It makes other tokens, that kind of stuff. So from a individual card point of view, this makes sense. Toski is a great card. I run Toski a fair bit. Like if you're in any green deck that is attacking, which shouldn't be too hard in Commander, you should consider running Toski. It's almost, I'm not sure if it's like when we do a green staple list, Toski might be on it, like just as a generically solid bit of card drawing green. It's definitely one that kind of it's in the category of like if you have a bunch of them and you have a green deck, it will get in that maybe pile. So yeah, good to see a reprint here. Actually, Toski can't be expensive. This is where I find out it's like randomly at 20 quid. No, okay, yeah. It's been printed. I printed a bunch in Commander. Oh yes, Bloom Burrow. That makes sense for it to be reprinted. Yeah, it's like $2 to $4. Toski's a fun card. Would recommend including it. Good to see here. Next we have Plankton Tiny Tyrant, a single white. It is a reskin of Skrelv Defector Might. I think this one is actually kind of perfect. 1/1 legendary artifact creature Phyrexian Might. Toxic 1. Plankton can't block. And then a Phyrexian white and tap. Choose a color. Another target creature you control gains Toxic 1 and Hexproof from that color until end of turn. It can't be blocked by creatures of that color this turn. So this is like so Skrelv is like an artifacty Mother of Runes. I've actually run this in my cube just because it's a Mother of Runes that it's a Mother of Runes that is an artifact creature, and my deck and my cube wants that. The flavor text I went to college I do not get, but it seems pretty cool. And for some, I'm noticing that it's got copyright Viacom. That's a thing we're going to be seeing more and more, I guess. Without even knowing too much about SpongeBob, I know this character, and this seems pretty spot on in terms of flavor. What else can you do as an annoying little bugger? But yeah, a Defector Might. This seems pretty spot on here for this. Great, really solid card. Again, probably not that expensive. Yeah, between $2 and $3. That's kind of where we are with a lot of these. Next, we have Mr. Krabs Penny Pincher. 2 blue, and it is a reskin of Charix the Raging Isle. I don't actually know what this card is. What does Charix look like? This one. Okay. Cool. It is a 0-17, which is a very vibey power toughness ratio. It is a legendary creature, Leviathan Crab. Spells your opponent's cast that target Mr. Krabs cost 2 more to cast. And 3 generic, Mr. Krabs gets +X, -X until end of turn, with X the number of islands that you control. This has purely just been picked because it is a Leviathan Crab. And for that reason, I applaud it. Yeah, fine card. I have never played against this or seen it be played in any deck. In this, it's probably perfect. It probably works well. The point of this deck is to run SpongeBob and SpongeBob adjacent cards. What other crabs are there that you could have picked? Oh, I mean, Hedron crab would have been funnier, but if they wanted it specifically to be a legendary, you don't actually have that many options. Is this the only legendary crab? Because, like, Hedron crab would have actually been a useful reprint. And probably more expensive as well. Yeah, $8. Damn, we could have had Hedron crab. That would have been sick. I'm assuming... Oh, this one! Oh, but this is specifically a... it's already a Universes Beyond. I'm assuming that they're never going to do a Universes reskin of a Universes Beyond card. That's too many levels of Inception. But yeah, is it the only legendary crab? I think it is. A nightmare crab. That's pretty vibey. So yeah, so I'm assuming that's why they had to go with Charix, because it's the only legendary crab out there. Does kind of make sense. Alright, so worth mentioning, all of these creatures are one secret layer. You can buy them all in one secret layer. The next one are spells, and this is the second secret layer. So next up we have Counterspell. Counter target spell with the kind of relatively iconic meme artwork. I know this from being on the internet rather than from the episode. People have pointed out they should do there should have been a mix-up of like capitals in here. So like C uppercase, O lowercase, U uppercase, that kind of stuff. And the same down here. That would have been quite funny. I'm assuming just from a... Like, if you're going to do that, then do it. And also, Counterspell, iconic card, powerful card, not worth that much, unfortunately. But again, you're buying this because you like SpongeBob, probably not because you're here for value. Knight's Whisper, 1 and a black for a sorcery. You draw 2 cards, you lose 2 life. This is Squidward. Is he getting a nightmare or something like that? I know this from seeing, like, effectively they've just gone to like a meme page and chosen the artworks for this part of the secret layer from that. I mean, Knight's Whisper is good. Like, this is one that if this is cheap, I could see myself picking this up. Like, for my cube, I generally pick up like when I'm doing an order from like from whatever. When I'm doing a card order, I will just generally go to the secret layer section and just see what they have. Like the opt I run in my cube is this one. The one with Yargle on the front, because it's kind of weird and a bit funny. I could see myself, if this is cheap, I could see myself picking up a Knight's Whisper and just running this one. Gives the cube a little bit of personality, a little bit of customization. I'm here for this. This one's funny. Next up, we have Force of Despair. 1 black instant. If it's not your turn, you may exile a black card from your hand rather than pay the spell's mana cost. Destroy all creatures that entered this turn. I ended up playing this card more and more recently. It's a cool card. I like that from... Again, I don't know the episode, but I get the context. You can look at this card and just see, yes, I understand all of this. Is Force of Despair expensive? I'm assuming not. That's not Hateful. Hateful Despair. With an E. Yeah, my spelling is dreadful as always. It's about $4. Although this secret edition, that one's cool. I haven't seen that before. It's a couple of quid. Again, all of these are a couple of quid. Nothing super fancy. But again, this is cool. Again, you get the vibe from this. Next up, we have Inevitable Betrayal. Suspend. Suspend 3 for 1 white, for 1 blue. It is a sorcery. Search target opponent's library for a creature card and put that card onto the battlefield under your control. Then that player shuffles. This could have been something better. Like, the name obviously works. Like, the name works with it, but like if you're going for this kind of effect, bribery must be reserve list. Is it bribery? Oh, it's not. Search target opponent's library for a creature card and put it onto the battlefield. Oh, this card isn't reserve list. Oh, that's cool. And it's only It's only a $5. When was this reprinted? Jesus. Okay, bribery is. This is kind of like the card I wish they had picked, but like, so when you're not doing reskins in this section, this is why it kind of limits you to cards that just work from a name point of view. Like again, I get the flavor of the card that this lad, Barktooth Greybeard here, as is betraying them. But like, again, just limiting it does mean that kind of like the value of this half of it is much lower. Noticeably much lower, just because you don't have any kind of like high value cards in it. Days, however, Days slaps as a Magic card. Is Days expensive? No, Days is not expensive, but Days is a great card. 1 blue, instant, you may return an instant you control to its owner's hand rather than pay the spell's mana cost. Cannot target spell unless its controller pays 1. So, this is a card that I don't think you can run in Commander, just because people are going to have more than 1 mana spare a lot of the time from turn like 3 onwards. I mean, if you can get someone Soul Ring with this, then you are a hero. But, which is kind of weird, because like this is... With the first half, they do feel like cards you could just jam in a deck. It'd be a bit janky, but it would kind of work. And Days is a card that people want, and like there is like a fine line of picking cards and arts and cards that are thematic that people want, but then also just cards that don't really work together. Days is a phenomenal card one-on-one. Like, so I love Days in my I would put Days in any cube. I mean, it's a common. I think Days should be in every single cube out there, purely because it just being in the cube means that you have to respect it. Like if an opponent is on blue, you have to respect the ability. Like if you've seen Days in the draft anyway, you have to respect the fact that you could be getting dazed. You don't play around it all the time, but there are times where you have to kind of like, how bad is it for me in this game if I get dazed right now? So I love Days. It's a great card. With the creatures, with the creature portion of this, it was kind of fine that kind of like some of them were dorky and some of them didn't really work, because it's like it doesn't matter. It's a 5-color commander deck where you're playing all of SpongeBob and Friends. Cool, that works. With this half, it's a bit tricky just because these cards don't really like go together as much. Like, I mean, actually, effectively this is like a Dimir control shell. Hold on. Night's Whisper. Doomsday, anyone? Ooh, are we doomsdaying in our SpongeBob deck? That's really funny. That's how we're building SpongeBob SquarePants Doomsday pile. But so that's actually the second secret layer is Days, Inevitable Betrayal, Force of Despair, Night's Whisper, and Counterspell. That is the second secret layer. Is there another one? I don't think there was. I think that is it. Yes. Because the third... Oh no, there is one more card. We'll get to that in a moment. The third secret layer is the lands. So you have Swamp. Oh, sorry, you have Island, as in theory should be all of it, because the whole thing's underwater. But hey ho. You have Bikini Bottom as the island. You have... I don't know what this is. This is, I'm assuming, the Evil Lad's lair, like research layer, as the Swamp. You have Jellyfish Fields as a plains. You have Kelp Forest as a forest. I think I saw someone put on Reddit that this is the first artwork of a forest that doesn't have a tree on it. I mean, it does down here, actually, technically. But, like, in terms of the artwork, there's no tree on this art. Which, if true, is kind of interesting. Yeah. Let's keep going. And then Mountain is Mount Bikini Bottom. Oh, is the little slug friend on all of them, actually. Sorry, snail friend, he is. That's cool. And then the last card, I believe, is... Is this a Krabby Patty? Am I showing my age by saying that? Or my lack of knowledge by saying that? And it's a food token. There is probably... The food token might end up being the most expensive card in this whole bloody secret layer. When it's all said and done. So that is the secret layer. Let's actually... So we'll look at them here. So yeah, the first one is Counterspell, Days, Inevitable Betrayal, Force of Despair, Night's Whisper, and the food token. Again, you're not buying this unless you're a SpongeBob fan, I don't think. Like, I can see myself picking up Night's Whisper for my cube. I don't actually own that many of them. If this is like less than $3 at some random point in the next 6 months, I could buy this. The food token I think is going to be like 20 quid. The lands, again, I don't like the land secret layers just because 29 quid for this is dreadful. Like, I would hope you get more than one of each. Let's see what it says in the article. They might not have actually announced that. If it is just one of each, then that is awful. Like, effectively, like, this should be like a draft set. Like, even if it's 50 quid, just give me a draft set of all of them. So give me 10 of each. It's basic lands. It doesn't cost you anything to print more of them. And then you also have the legendary creatures as the second secret layer. So I think if you want all of them, it's going to be, what, $90? Hopefully you get free shipping with that. It's not actually up on the Secret Lair website yet. The Secret Lair website, as always, dreadful experience, really slow. They don't need any free promotion from me. But it'll be down here. Look at how slow this loads. Dreadful. It still hasn't loaded. My internet's pretty good. We are streaming, and my computer's about to take off, but it's pretty good. This website is awful. Look at this rubbishness. But yeah. Are we going to do a video where we build SpongeBob SquarePants? Probably not. It depends. If like 100 people message saying I want a SpongeBob I want a SpongeBob SquarePants deck tech, then we'll build it. Probably less. I am realistic. But I mean, so all of these I think kind of make sense in some way or form. Like, I think Squidward not being specifically a squid or something like that does kind of work. This is the only legendary crab, so they are kind of baked into a corner there. And for vibes, it becoming a big creature is kind of cool. Yeah, again, the only card that's worth anything. So we can have a quick look. I'm not sure I can be bothered to do all of the math entirely, but we'll see how many cards are worth more than a fiver. So Joda. Again, this doesn't take into account the... So for the financial side of things, if you want to buy this, don't let the fact that these cards probably aren't worth the amount you're paying for them, purely from a card point of view, stop you. If you want this, go buy it. I'm not going to yuck your yum. You do you. Crack on. Enjoy yourself. This is just entirely from a... For me, Secret Lairs, one of the reasons to buy them is because it's a way of getting cards that are slightly more expensive than they should be. Like, I'm assuming you couldn't buy this one, but like Kukushko is expensive. This kind of stuff. Like, I find it's good for giving you expense. Like, Wheel of Misfortune is like a decently priced Magic card. Like, it's like you want to at least be getting the price of the cards out of it, basically. Or for me anyway. For me to consider buying a Secret Lair, it either have to be an IP I really care about, or I have to be it has to be worth my while financially. So Joda, realistically, you can get... So a lot of them seem to be like around like $4, but you can just buy a version of the card. So the average version of this card is $4. That's not nothing. So it's actually... Let's get the calculator out and do... Let's call this $4. Let's be generous. So 4. Barktooth is this is its first reprint, so that might affect the overall value. Is $3. Toski, we'll call you 4. Let's be generous. Toxrill, let's say 19. Grazilax, let's call you 2. Mr. Krabs, I'm going to call that $1. Skrell, $2. We'll call it $2.50. Let's call it $2.50. Which comes to $35. It's selling for $30. Again, you would be able to find these cheaper if you shopped around, but then you have to pay for postage, that kind of stuff. You still have to pay postage with this. The fact that these are roughly worth the cost of a Secret Lair is probably fine. That's okay. Let's do this one. Knight's Whisperer is about £1. Oh, we've immediately closed Force of Despair. Love that. Let's load that back up. Come on, computer. Force of Despair is worth... We'll come back to Force of Despair. We have content to make. Inevitable Betrayal is, 50, which doesn't feel great. Days is... Let's call Days 3. Let's be real. If we're buying a nice copy of Days, it's about 3. And Counterspell is... Counterspell can't be more than $2. Counterspell is 2, if you want a Counterspell. And then... Which one did we... Force of Despair. Come on, computer. Force of Despair is... We'll call that 3. We'll call it 4. So the issue with the second part is that this is only like $10.50 for this package here. The food token could be invaluable, but it's tricky. And then the lands I'm not even going to value up because they need to get better at selling these. They need to offer me more than one of each in order for me to buy them. Like I want to be able... There's been a bunch of really cool lands in these secret layers, but I'm never going to buy them because just the cost to actually make a deck with them. One thing you could do is, if you are building SpongeBob, there is a world where your mana base is so tuned that you only need one of each basic, and then these can be your basics. Get those OG jewels in the SpongeBob deck. That's where they belong. Alright, I think that's where we're going to end it for today. A little bit shorter, but yeah, SpongeBob has arrived in the Magic the Gathering universe, or he's beyond the Magic the Gathering universe. For any kind of crap I've talked about SpongeBob in this episode, I am perfectly fine with these secret layers. I think like if this is the perfect way for them to bring in other IPs. Like, for me as someone who's not going to be running out to buy this, I don't feel like I've missed out on anything by not buying it. Like I didn't rush to buy the Marvel Secret Lair when that came out last year, but there's an element of... There's a couple of cards in there I could have tried in Cube. Like, I could have seen myself maybe trying... like Wolverine. Like, if I could have realistically got my hands on one, I could have seen a world where I test Wolverine in one of my cubes. Because I do think it's a cool card. And like the rest of them are cool. But because of how they came out and the price gouging, like I'm not spending more than the cost of a secret layer on a single from a secret layer. It's just never going to happen. I'm probably never going to play with this card until it gets reprinted. Like, so if they want to cram these secret layers down our throats, I don't care. These are fine. These are the better way of doing it. It means that if you like them, awesome. You get an awesome SpongeBob SquarePants Secret Lair card. Awesome. You can be excited by this. Love that. But if you don't care about it, then you don't have to care about it. It's not going to affect you. You might see one in the wild every now and then. Cool. That's fine. That's how I want to be able to interact with my Universes Beyond. Yeah, love it. Let me know what you think of the SpongeBob SquarePants. Do you would you pick any different cards? Are there like... Do you think, like, this... all of them I'm kind of okay with. They kind of make sense. I'm assuming Patrick Star... I don't get it, and I think that's kind of the point. But anyway, that's going to do it for today. Thank you all very much for being here. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll probably be doing the Cube build again tomorrow, unless they spoil another random secret layer for us to chat about or something like that. But until then, enjoy the rest of your days. Much love. We'll see you all soon. Goodbye.